Oh my God, I'm 30 years old today. 30. I don't know whether to be happy or sad that I'm 30. I guess happy because I can say it's my birthday, but I can no longer say I'm in my 20s. Now I'm in my 30s. Oh, my parents are calling. Hello?
Good morning, and happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Nick.
Thanks.
So what are you doing today for your birthday besides going to work like your dad used to always have to on his birthday?
Going to work. What a coincidence. I'm telling you guys it's my birthday. My parents called me to wish me happy birthday. Anyways, there you go. Now you know it's not fake. I'm 30 years old. So, let's get to the topic at hand now. And that is the 2018 Dodge Demon, which is, let me be the first to say this before anybody develops any sort of conclusion or thinks this is a hate video or me talking trash. That car is amazing. Period. It's amazing. It's amazing what Dodge has done. It's amazing that they were able to take a car that weighs well over 2 tons and give it what they claim 840 horsepower and have it run a 9.65 quarter mile. So it's no surprise to anybody that this car is the epitome of a straight line performance car from the factory. There's nothing production-wise that will beat it right now. So congrats to Dodge on achieving that. However, here's why the Dodge Demon is going to be the biggest disappointment of 2018. Now, a few months ago, I was invited to the Dodge Demon reveal in New York City. And again, thank you to Dodge for inviting me. I really appreciate it. The event was amazing. It was incredible. The show that was put on by Dodge was awesome. I've never seen anything like it at a reveal. And they took us backstage before they released the Demon to the world, before anybody saw it. It was myself and probably a group of about 8 to 10 different social media guys, YouTubers, whatever, just us and Tim, the guy who is basically I think the engineer of the Demon or whatever, but he was there. He told us about the car. We got to ask him some questions. He didn't tell us everything, but he did tell us some pretty factual information. So one of the things that he said that was the fact that it does pop a wheelie. And when you hear that, you're like, what? A factory car popping a wheelie? That's insane. So I decided to ask him. I said, well, okay, so does that mean people are going to be at a stoplight, you know, popping wheelies when the light turns green? And he was like, no. And with a serious face, no, that's not going to happen. And I was like, I was just joking, but then I was like, oh, okay, what's he about to say here? Well, he said it's not going to happen because that requires a perfectly prepped track with a perfect driver on a perfect day. He himself said it. The guy who pretty much designed and engineered the Demon said, yeah, a normal person is not going to be able to do this. He said it's going to take a lot of time, a lot of runs, a lot of passes behind the wheel to run this car to make it do that. But you're not going to get that many because you're probably going to get kicked out of the track anyways because it's too fast. Since then, everybody's been so crazy about this car, about it being so fast, about doing a 2.3 second 0 to 60 and a 9.65 at 140 mile an hour, quarter mile, and that's basically all that's been said about it. It's just this high performance straight line vehicle. Yes, it is a one-trick pony, but it's just the epitome of a drag car directly from the factory. And even though Dodge has some cool things about the car, like you can option out the Dodge Demon crate, which is basically the skinnies up front and the module that you can plug in that it will run 100 octane fuel and will gain an extra, 20 some horsepower and 50, I think, some torque. You can buy a seat for $1. You can buy a rear seat for $1. It's really cool that they did that. Now, I still have not seen a video of the Dodge Demon actually running a 9.65 quarter mile. Now, quote me if I'm wrong. If there's a video out there on YouTube, I'd love to see it, but I still haven't really found one showing that the production, straight from the factory, Dodge Demon ran this time. There are other fake Demons out there running 9-second passes, and that's not the actual, production car. The only production car currently that I've seen run a quarter mile is this one right here, which ran a 10.5. Now, we're not really sure who's driving this car, if they were using 100 octane fuel, if they really pushed that car to, run the best time that it could. You can hear in there that, he does spin a little bit off the line, which will lose a significant amount of time. For instance, my 2013 ZL1, I lost over a half a second down the quarter mile by just spinning my tires a little bit off the line. A half a second. So that can be made up, obviously, but where's the other half a second being made up? Where's that? If we make that half a second up, we're down to 10. If we make up another half a second, that's almost 965. So where's that being made up? Well, that's the thing here that I'm going to talk to you guys about, and I think this is where a lot of people are going to be sadly disappointed when they buy these cars. The people that are going to buy this car are going to be the ones that have the money to just throw out $100,000, that want the fastest quarter mile production car to date. Not necessarily the people that are going to, buy that car and they're going to be seasoned racers and they're going to be like, yes, I want this car because it's the fastest quarter mile car and I'm going to race it and I'm going to get a 965, I'm going to get a 96, I'm going to get even better time than Dodge says. They're not the people buying these cars. They're not. The people that are buying these cars, like I said, have no seat time, have no time behind the track, and they're going to think that when they buy this car, they're going to take it to the drag strip and they're going to run a 9-second pass. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's not going to happen. And that video is proof that it's not going to happen. Here's why. If we take a look at the time slip that Dodge released, you can see all the numbers plain as day. Amazing numbers for that car. A 136 60-foot is incredible for a factory production car. And we go down all the way to the bottom. There's the 965 quarter mile at 140 miles an hour. Now let's go to the top here of the time slip. This was done at 8:30 at night in November, which was one of the cooler months out of the year. This drag strip is located in Florida, by the way. And it probably was, I don't know. I don't even know what the temperature would have been that night, but maybe 70s or something like that. But I can guarantee it's a lot cooler than, let's say, summer. So relating that to like here where I'm located in Pennsylvania, November is when I ran my best time in my car last year, because cooler nights, cooler air, denser air, and that's what you want. You don't want to be running in high humidity. You don't want to be running when it's really hot out. Your IATs are going to be through the roof. So Dodge went to this drag strip. They rented it out. They had it prepped perfectly. They went on the best night of the best day with the best driver and probably made a lot of passes until they hit that time. That was probably their best time. I don't know whether Dodge wanted to hit a certain time or they were just like, okay, let's make 50 passes or however many passes, and whatever the best one is, that's going to be the time. 965 at 140 is a pretty darn even number, I say, and it looks good on paper. So whether or not they were trying to hit that number or they just hit it because that was the fastest time, I don't know. But nobody is going to go down the drag strip in that car and run a 965 all the time. It's not going to happen. And that's where people are going to be disappointed. They're going to think they have this fast car, which it is. It's fast, Dodge proved it. And here's why I think Dodge made a mistake, because they put that time out and they're gonna sit there and brag about it, which they have every right to, but it's not realistic. It's not a realistic time for any normal car enthusiast or consumer that's gonna buy that and run that time. Whereas, take a look at Chevy or Ford. When they release performance times on vehicles, they release an average time, and it's an easily replicated time, or somewhat easily replicated, like the quarter mile time in a new ZL1, 11.4, right? I was able to run an 11.1 just by slapping drag radials in the car, easily. So there's a lot left on the table. There's more to want, and you feel that sense of like, oh, that's cool. I could get a faster time out of what they stated, so the car's even faster than what they say. Whereas Dodge Demon, it's not going to be that way. That is probably the fastest somebody will get that car. There might be somebody that gets a 963, but okay, whatever at that point. There's going to be nobody running a 994, 93. That is extremely hard to shave that many tenths off of an already impressive and professionally done quarter mile time. The thing about it is, I talked to Al Oppenheiser, chief engineer of the Camaro. And he was saying how the new ZL1s consistently ran 11.2s in the quarter mile when they were testing it. He's like, yeah, we were hitting 11.2s all day. But they decided to say 11.4. Why is that? Why wouldn't they say 11.2? You know, that's the best time they ran. Why not? Because they want to leave some on the table for everybody else. They don't want to go out there and, for lack of a better term, blow their load and tell everybody this is what the car runs. And then everyone will go out there and think they can do it and just won't be able to. So how did Dodge actually run that time? You know, if this guy here is taking his car to the track and running a 10.5, but Dodge can run a 9.65, how is that even possible? How is it possible to make up almost a second in time? Well, it is. If you take a look at how the Dodge Demon is made, the trans brake, the inner chiller, which is basically when they take the AC and direct it as a cooling method into the engine, there's that. So it always stays cool. It's consistent horsepower. You have the weight transfer, the suspension that's put on the Demon that transfers the weight completely to the rear tires and really allows a 4,000 plus pound car to do a wheelie on only 840 horsepower, which, by the way, I think is a little underrated. They underrated the Hellcat horsepower like crazy. Guys are putting down well over 600 horsepower on a dyno, and they claim they only had 707 horsepower, which is obviously wrong. So this 808 number technically, and then with the 100 octane 840, I think is a little bit conservative. And that's just judging by power to weight ratio, really. So you have other things too. You've got the drag radials in the back from a factory car, which is, I think, the first time that's ever happened is for a factory car to have drag radials, which is another thing too. You know, that right there in itself is leaving nothing on the table. You're already putting one of the best DOT tires you can on a car, so you can't upgrade them to run a better time unless you run slicks, which it might or it might not run a better time. It doesn't, who knows. But then you got the skinnies up front that are optional if you get the Dodge Demon crate. Okay, so there you go. There's another thing that is not left on the table. They're just gonna give it to you and it's already all there. Okay, so then you have the 100 octane fuel, which is another thing that is not left on the table. Whereas that can be a good thing because it's all there. It's pretty much a drag car from the factory, and that's all well and good. But like I said, it doesn't leave anything for us to improve upon. And another thing about that too is this whole bragging about the fact that the Dodge Demon is banned from the track. Let me tell you something. It's not anything to brag about because while it's all well and good that that car runs that time, but that is completely unsafe, and there's a reason that the NHRA banned that. They didn't ban it because they thought it would look funny and cool on paper that this car is so fast. They banned it because it's unsafe for the track. They banned it because it runs over 135 miles an hour and faster than 10.0 in a quarter mile. That requires a roll cage. That requires, I think, at least a 5-point harness, which I'm not sure if the Dodge comes with a 5 or 4-point harness. And it requires drive shaft loop. It requires an on-off switch, a battery cutoff switch on the back. It requires a lot of other little stuff here and there, but those are the basics of it. So yeah, unless you plan on putting a roll cage in your Demon, throwing a battery cutoff switch on your Demon, putting a drive shaft loop on your Demon, yeah, you're gonna get kicked out on every single track you go to if you run over 135 miles an hour and quicker than a 10.0, which nobody has yet. But that's kind of why I've been saying it's going to be a complete disappointment. Not only are people going to go to this track wanting to run this time, and they're not going to run it, but if they do run it, they're just going to get kicked out. So it's kind of a novelty vehicle, I must say. Either way, it's still an incredible piece of machinery and an amazing vehicle that Dodge has produced, and hats off to them for that. But Dodge, I think you messed up a little bit with not leaving anything on the table, and I think a lot of people are going to be disappointed in the fact that they can't hit the numbers that you guys have said that the Demon puts out. So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Do you think the Dodge Demon is going to be a disappointment? Do you think Dodge made a mistake on releasing the best possible times that the car can possibly run with a professional driver on a closed-off course, on a perfect track prep, everything like that? Do you think that they screwed up in that aspect, or do you think it's good that they got the best time and blew everybody else out of the water? Let me know what you think below in the comments. So thank you guys for watching that video. Let's open some mail that I got in my P.O. box. All right, so first we're gonna start with this letter here, or actually it's a oversized envelope. It says, "Photo, do not bend." Good thing the guys at the post office bent this to put it in my P.O. box. Hopefully it's okay still. Let's see here. This was some Jaden of Somerdale, South Carolina. And, oh, I know what this is. He sent me this, a picture of this. This is cool. This is a drawing, a very, very good drawing of my 2013. And he took that from an Instagram photo and just kind of replicated it. And that's awesome. Look, he even has the roll cage in there and everything. I love it. I'm definitely going to hang that in my garage. So thank you for that, Jaden. Next, we have this big one from Cameron Hawkins of Charlotte, North Carolina. I always get excited when I find big boxes like this and people package them. I'm like, what could it be? We've got some... Oh, I know what this is. I don't know why I didn't even think about this before, but this is something that has this kid has been working on for quite some time now, and he does like hydro dipping, right? And he hydro dipped a battery cover for my 2013 that I sent to him. Oh, it was months ago. Seriously, Jackson? That's disgusting. This is the design he did, which is really, really cool. He had been trying to do a carbon fiber design, which is what I originally had suggested when he asked me what to do, and it didn't really work out as well because of the consistency or the material, really, of the fuse box cover. He ended up doing this kind of like flake. It's like a dark red and black flake in it, and it's pretty cool. I really like it. So that turned out, I thought that turned out really good. And he has something else in here too, looks like. Oh no, this is just, I thought it was a t-shirt. It's actually just something to protect it. Either way, thank you for that. That looks really cool. Lastly, we have a box here from, not really sure who it's from, but it says Nick with 2 ZL1s. Oh, what could it be? Actually, no, wait, I might know what this is. Oh, yes. Cigars. Somebody saw the cigars in my one mail time video, and they asked me if I smoke. I was like, yes, I do smoke cigars. And he got me some. This is awesome. Golden Bear. I've never heard of this, but it looks like they're going to be good. I kind of want to try one. Let's see here. And by the way, not bad.
What are you doing?
Anyways, P.O. Box info in the description. Hit that subscribe button. Have a great day.